Welcome, Star Wars fans, to Rebels in Review, brought to you by Conjure Club. We're going to be taking a look at episode 13 of season 2, titled The Call. It's going to be a spoiler review, obviously, so if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out, and then you can listen to our review. Right away, I'm going to just say that I do like Star Wars Rebels, so if I tend to be a little harsh on this episode, I apologize, but I don't know. I think this is going to forever be known as the Space Whale episode. What do you think?
Definitely the Space Whale episode. If anyone out there remembers X-Men, in the old X-Men comics, there were a space whale race that flew around the galaxy, and that's what I thought of this entire episode. I was waiting for one of the X-Men to come popping out of a space whale, ready to save the universe. It was very awkward for me.
Yeah, it was. You know, I gotta remind myself sometimes this is a kids show, and sometimes it's just gonna have. I don't even know if this episode appealed to children. I don't know who it appealed to. It wasn't a terrible episode. I mean, I tried to take away the fact that this kind of shows that Ezra has a very strong connection to the living force. I guess that's maybe what they were trying to prove here, because he seemed to bond with the space whales, or I can't even remember their name already. That's so sad. They said it like 50 times, and I already forgot it.
I can't remember either. Per something. Purgus?
Purgle?
Purgle. There
Purgle.
you go.
Hey.
They're the Purgle. I
Yes.
did. One thing that the episode did have going for it was they showed just more in-depth look at the Star Wars universe. We saw other creatures that inhabit the galaxy that they serve their purpose. They might have even been where their ideas of hyperspace came from in the first place. Hera had heard of them from ancient stories that made them want to explore the stars. It was kind of cool to see a little bit of that mythos. But at the very beginning of the episode, as I know you'll recall, I said, we're not getting through this episode without somebody riding a space whale. So,
Yeah. Of course, it would be Ezra who rode the space whale, not surprisingly. I'll agree. I mean, again, I'm trying to look for positives here, because it wasn't. I guess it wasn't a terrible episode. I mean, it was an action-packed episode, and there was a lot of killing going on, which, like I was just saying before, this is a children's show. Yet sometimes they'll blow people. The space whale, the Purgle, I'm sorry, who eats the main bad guy at the end. I wasn't ready for. I actually cheered when that. Not so much because I was excited, but because I always love when Rebels pushes the boundaries a little bit and does something I don't expect
yeah.
them to do.
It was interesting how the main bad guy, who's, I don't know which species he is,
I think he's generic species. I don't think we've never seen anything like him before.
but he and the Rhodian, none of them seem to need masks to breathe in that environment, though all of our hero characters, Zeb, our alien, and the other humanoids, they all needed a breathing apparatus. But that's just a little weird.
We couldn't have
note.
that great scene where the Purgle gave Ezra his helmet back. I mean, we would have missed out on that.
As it was a filler episode. We knew one was coming because they have to keep us just waiting for that big confrontation we're all expecting.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last time. That I'm really ready for all the things we've seen, those cool things we've seen in the trailer.
They're all from one episode.
They're probably from like the last 3 episodes or something. I mean, literally, they're probably the last 3 or the season finale, if you will. And I guess, just touching on my biggest problem with Rebels so far, and I think it's a great show, is, you have 22-minute episodes, and I would rather they do what like Clone Wars did, especially in the later seasons when we had like 3 or 4 part story arcs. Much rather have that than these little individual, and I hate to say meaningless episodes, because maybe this will somehow come into play later. I don't know, but I'd much rather just long, or go hour-long episodes and just give us 12 or 13 episodes a season. I'd actually prefer that than these, 22-minute episodes that really just don't do much.
I agree with that. So overall, I think I'm just gonna say it was a filler episode. It was entertaining. But it didn't really advance the storyline to me. All it did was show Ezra's connection to the Force, and it does show that the rebels are in dire straits for food, supplies. But we've been seeing that all season.
Yeah. Again, this was. If I hadn't seen this episode, I wouldn't have missed much. And I think the last few episodes now, it's like we keep going. Not this one so much, but it's like Sabine has an episode, then Zeb has an episode, and Hera. I guess they're just trying to explore these characters more in depth this season, but still, it's I'm just ready for what we've seen in that trailer. I know I keep saying that, but so overall, not the greatest episode. Not horrible, but certainly not the greatest.
Well, then, there you go. You heard it from Conja Club. That's all. If you want to hear more, go ahead and subscribe. Come visit us at Twitter at @tell_Conja Club. See you next time.